Good morning, everyone. We're continuing here in the words of the Orchis Yosher of Chaim Kanievsky, the letter Tov for Torah, and we're speaking about the tremendous gift and blessing that a person has to learn. And they have to keep in mind that although it's in the beginning it's difficult, and sometimes there will be difficulty with the learning. This is not a newspaper, as we said before. This is not a Google search. This is amelis. This is hard work. Nevertheless, that's where the ikar simcha, the main joy, is in life. For Amr Chazal have taught us, HaTorah nikres tushia b'tchila v'achach gvura. In the beginning, Torah is called tushia, which means wisdom. In the end, it's called gvura, called strength. Shenemar, like it says in the pasuk, the verse in Mishlei, li eitza v'sushia. The Torah says, with me there is counsel and wisdom. I am understanding, and with me is might. Says Rav Chaim Kanievsky, Teidelecha, you should know, Ki b'tchila nikres tushia shemateshes koicha shel adam. The reason the Torah is called tushia, which we said means wisdom, is because it's a derivative of the word mateshes, which means that it weakens and depletes a person's strength. How is it that the Torah takes away, weakens a person's strength? Because in order to learn properly, you're going to have to battle and fight your Yetzer Hara. And you're going to have to break up your body, so to speak, in the Beis Midrash, in the house of study, which means you'll have to distance yourself from the pleasures, from the luxuries, from the enjoyments of this world, in order to be able to stay focused in on the learning that you're doing. So Torah seems in the beginning very uncomfortable. It's breaking, you're battling with your Yetzer Hara constantly to learn, not to learn, to learn, not to learn. You have other things on your mind, other things you want to do. And even with your own physical well-being, of course you have to take care of your health. No one's saying not to be healthy. But a person has to not give in to the physical pleasures perhaps that he's used to all the time, in order to allow himself to become more ruchni, more spiritual, to connect with the Torah. And all of this you have to do until the person becomes accustomed to his learning. And once that he does, once a person becomes accustomed to being oisik, to being engaged in the study of Torah, then he has happiness and he has strength. Shenemar, like it says, Ani bina li gvura. The pasuk says over there that I am understanding, and with me is insight. And with me is might. That's what the pasuk says about the Torah itself. Ad kan l'shoina. That's what it says. There's a verse in the Torah that says that may my teachings drop like the rain, like windstorms. Now, what is that? That doesn't sound very pleasant for Torah. When a person initially goes to learn, so by it will come upon him like a storm. Shade. And what is sayir? What does that mean? It means a demon. That's how it's going to be in the beginning. Nevertheless, might be uncomfortable. You're getting used to it. Your body's getting into it. Your mind is shaping itself to think like the Torah and think in a different way. That's not easy for a person to direct himself in pathways that's not always what he's comfortable with or used to. However, once you get in there, that's what we're saying over here, once you get in there, it becomes the sweetest, most pleasurable thing that a person can have. We find the same thing in the Midrash about Koheles. It says, Kol advar migayim, all things are going to weary a person out. What does that mean? Says the Gemara, Afilu divrei Torah miyagines ha'adam bechila. In the beginning, the words of Torah will wear you out. Nevertheless, eventually in the end, it's going to give you all the strength. Adam nichnas lilmod Torah. A person comes to learn. And everything that he sees in the learning is the opposite of what he thought. Whatever he thought was pure is impure. Whatever he thought was impure is pure. And he doesn't realize that all of this, it's causing him weariness. It's wearing him out over here. He realized that whatever he thought was right is wrong. Whatever he thought was wrong is right. The Torah is the das Elokis, is the mind of Hashem. It's His emes. His emes is different than what I believe is the emes. Nevertheless, he shouldn't despair. Because Seifshu Maitzi Kalos v'Chamuras v'Gezer Shavos v'Tuma v'Tahara v'Isser v'Heta Adkan. Says Chaim Kanievsky, yeah, in the beginning it will be hard to realize that your mind is not working completely like the Torah works right now, and you'll have to shape and bend your thoughts to be able to understand Torah. That's all natural, says Chaim Kanievsky. What's going to happen in the end? In the end, when you're thinking in a Torah way, when you're machavin, when you can come up with the same outlook and you come up with the same psak, the same decision-making process of Torah, there's no greater simcha than that. I had a Rebbe in yeshiva many, many years ago. He was a super genius and a massive, massive Talmud Chacham, a Torah scholar. He was a dayan on the Beis Din of Yerushalayim, which means that he was one of the judges on the high courts of the religious courts in Jerusalem. That's a big position. We were once learning, and somebody asked him a very good question on the Gemara, and he thought, and he said, I think I have an answer. I just want to check and see if anybody says it. He opens up a Ritva, and the Ritva, one of the great Rishonim, says exactly the same answer as him. The Rebbe started dancing with a smile on his face that I never saw. And all of us were surprised, what's going on over here? And he says, if my mind is working like the Ritva, and the Ritva was someone who lived 800 years ago, and his mind was much clearer than mine, and he was so pure in his emes, in his truth of the Torah, he says that I'm in a good position over here. I'm in good company. There's no greater simcha than that. We should be zeicher. And Yetz Hashem, with the Yom Tov Shavuos coming upon us, that we're able to direct our thoughts into the thoughts of Torah, and we think in the way of the Torah, which will connect us to Hashem. Have a wonderful day.